Trigger Warning Radio. I am your host, the Kaiju Conservative. Folks, it was just over a month ago today that 17 lives were ended when Nikolas Cruz, a subhuman psychopath, walked into Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School, where he had been expelled the previous year for his violent behavior. He walked into that school with a rifle and proceeded to gun down 17 of his former classmates and teachers. Children were killed that day, ladies and gentlemen. Lives were ended. Lives were irrevocably shattered. There are families out there right now mourning the loss of a loved one, the loss of a child. You have parents mourning their child's death. You know, you have teachers that will not come home to their families again. You have people that are going to be experiencing later on this year a holiday season without their most precious loved ones. And there was one person at that school that was charged with defending those students, with protecting those lives, with protecting the people who were killed. And that was Sheriff Scot Peterson, the school's resource officer. And what did Sheriff Peterson do, ladies and gentlemen? Well, Sheriff Peterson decided to take cover. Like an utter and complete coward, he refused to go into that classroom building and confront Nikolas Cruz. Instead, he took up a position outside. He warned other people from going inside. He warned off the other deputies that showed up. Now, luckily, the Coral Springs Police Department, they showed up, and they decided to go in, charge in there and stop in an attempt to stop the shooter. You had two sheriff's deputies that ignored the stand down order and went in with the police department. Those people are heroes. Scot Peterson, though, there's no other way to describe it, folks. He's a complete and utter coward. He is an absolute disgrace to every single person in this country who has ever worn a badge. And his assertions that you know, well, his lies really that, well, I thought the gunfire was coming from outside. And his assertions that he's not a coward. I mean, we have video proof, ladies and gentlemen, today. As of this recording, the Broward County Sheriff's Department has released surveillance camera footage from Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School that shows Officer Peterson, Deputy Peterson, that shows him hiding, essentially, is what he did, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you had gunshots going off in the school. You had people bleeding to death on the floor inside that building. You had a gunman rampaging, killing at will, wounding many more. And what was Deputy Peterson doing? He was taking up a position, and we have the video proof of that right now, ladies and gentlemen. So Deputy Peterson says he's not a coward. Well, Deputy, you're either a coward or you're grossly incompetent. You know, which is it? Neither one of those options puts you in any sort of a good light at this point. You know, he should have been fired. Is before he was able to take retirement. He should have been fired immediately. He does not deserve to have a pension. He does not deserve any retirement benefits because he didn't do his damn job. You know, he doesn't deserve anything. And if I'm no lawyer, but I'm wanting an investigation to see whether he's criminally liable in this case, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's a case that has to be made. That's a question that has to be asked. You know, is Officer Peterson criminally liable for his actions that day? You know, he failed to save lives. How many people could have been saved if he had gone in like he was supposed to and confronted the shooter? How many people would be alive today if he had done that? course, there's always the possibility that Deputy Peterson could have died, and if that was the case, he would have died a hero. He would have given his life for the defense of others, which is, folks, I know a lot of law enforcement personnel, and I'm willing to bet a lot of you out there know a fair amount of law enforcement personnel as well. No one, no cop, no sheriff, no law enforcement officer wants to die in the line of duty. However, every single one of them I know are prepared to do that if necessary. And these people are a credit to the profession. They are the reason why I and so many other Americans support law enforcement. Scot Peterson he doesn't deserve to be called a law enforcement officer. He doesn't deserve the title of sheriff's deputy. He doesn't deserve any of the accolades that come with that. He doesn't deserve any of the benefits or anything. He is a piece of shit, ladies and gentlemen. That is what he is. He's not a hero. He's not he's an utter and complete coward in my book, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what the most disgusting thing about Deputy Peterson is? It's not even taking into consideration his actions, even though they're extremely despicable. That is not the most despicable thing about all of this, ladies and gentlemen. The most despicable thing about all of this is Sheriff Israel. Sheriff Israel, almost the day that this happened, that Nikolas Cruz killed those people, Sheriff Israel was in front of the cameras screeching about how we needed gun control and how his department did such a great job and praising the sheriff's department. Turns out that was all a distraction. You know what, folks? I'm going to come right out and say it, what everybody's thinking. I will guarantee that Sheriff Israel knew about Deputy Peterson's actions. I will guarantee it. I will guarantee that he knew probably within hours of the shooting being ended, probably within hours of Nikolas Cruz being apprehended. I will guarantee that he knew that his deputies didn't do a damn thing to stop it. He has to have known that Peterson sat outside and did nothing. I mean, the Coral Springs police, they remarked about how astonished and angry they were that the deputies that were there did not go in with them. So he knew, ladies and gentlemen. Sheriff Israel knew exactly what was going on, and instead of owning up to the mistake and saying, look, this is what happened. My department failed. I apologize profusely. He should have apologized profusely. He should have said, there is nothing I can say or do that will bring these people back and that will give the families any sort of solace. But what we can do is look at our department, fire those who did not follow procedure, and enact reforms to do better. Instead, he went in front of CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, all those left-wing organizations, and he crowed and screamed about how we need gun control. A law enforcement officer sworn to uphold the Constitution and defend the rights of citizens went in front of cameras advocating, demanding that we take their rights away. You know, folks, it's not enough that Deputy Peterson has retired from the force. It's not enough that we now know of the gross failure of the Broward County Sheriff's Department. 39 times, ladies and gentlemen, police were called out to Nikolas Cruz's home. Broward County Sheriff's Department dealt with at least a dozen of those calls. You know, at any point in time, they could have taken action, and that would have removed Nikolas Cruz from society for an extended length of time, and possibly have prevented the shooting 1 month ago. This is it's unconscionable. Sheriff Israel is insisting that he's provided exemplary leadership throughout his career. Sheriff Israel, you have not provided one damn bit of leadership. You say you're not responsible for the actions of your deputy that day. You are absolutely responsible for those actions, sir. You are the one in charge of the department. You are the one who sets the culture and the tone for the entire department. And you, sir, are responsible for the actions of your deputies that day. Every deputy that did not go into that building and confront Nikolas Cruz, every deputy that did not do their goddamn job that day, that is on your head, sir. At the very least, you need to resign today. If not, then the city of Parkland and the good people of Broward County, the people of the state of Florida, they need to take action to remove you from office. Because at best, you are an incompetent politician masquerading as a law enforcement officer. At worst, you are covering up the criminally negligent actions of your department. And you need to leave today. That's what needs to be done, folks. This is what needs to happen. In order for there to be any kind of closure, any kind of justice in what happened that day, Sheriff Israel needs to resign. And if he doesn't resign, he needs to be removed from office. It's the only logical course of action. Because what happened that day speaks to a profound failure among the leadership of the Broward County Sheriff's Department. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. I'm going to have the surveillance video, the full 27-minute video that was released today on my channel. If you want to watch it, go ahead. It's a little boring. It's a little grainy. There's not really a whole lot that can be seen because of the angle of the security camera that it's at. But I will go ahead and put that on there in case you want to view it. The link is going to be in the description of this video. And once again, thanks so much for listening, and I will see you all next time.